lights off. Cap, you been the main one. Coolin' when I got my mains on. Show money, but those aren't the same ones. I been told you that it was game on. Been winning since I was on game one. Telling me how to live like you made me. Going dumb and I blame you made me. Money longer than a grown-up baby. Got crazy in a new Mercedes. Thinking that's 550. 5 seats, fit the kids in there. Prawn steak on my dinner plate. Nike tech for the dinner wear. Flex up, never play it, dress up. Never gonna let up. Never, ever, ever, ever. Set up, play on my fam, get wet up. Go, 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 won't let up. Never, ever, ever, ever. Haters on the other side. 3 up, read between the lines. Know I got some majors with me. Made it through some evil time. Late night on some demon time. Pour the Sprite, I need a line. I can't lie, can't see the line. Freeze time.
I am a woman, not here to please you. It's time to move on, cause my time is now. I am a woman, play by my own rules. I got my 2 feet on solid ground. And then I take the first step, a million more. And I make mistakes I never made before. But either way, I know I made up my mind. I'm through feelings, yeah, I'm leaving all that behind. So I'm gonna let it shine on you. Make room for everything that's true. Do whatever I wanna do. And then I let it shine on you. I'm gonna let it shine on you. I don't need no savior, no helping hand, no one to make me feel loved again. I am a woman, coming alive. Gloria Gaynor, we will survive. And then I take the first step, a million more. And I make mistakes I never made before. But either way, I know I made up my mind. I'm through feeling scared, I'm leaving all that behind. So I'm gonna let it shine on you. Make room for everything that's true, yeah. Do whatever I wanna do. And then I let it shine on you, yeah. Huh. I wanna let it shine on you. Yeah, shine on you. I am a woman, coming alive. Gloria Gaynor, we will survive. I'm gonna let it shine on you. I'm gonna let it shine on you. And then I let it shine, shine, shine. I'm gonna let it shine on you. I'm gonna let it shine on you. Shine on you,
Something that I'm breathing, telling me to sleep in. Fix behind my lids like nothing gets done. Living by a bad truth, swallow it like who knew. Marching to the drums like pa 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 pa. Sliding by the beaches, gotta have a secret. Life is plain peaches, tell nobody my secret. Drowning at the teaching, gotta have a secret. I'm just a fake silhouette. wanna stay like a silhouette, but I can't do that. No, I can't do that. No, I can't do
Not gon' trip if the sun don't shine. Not gon' trip, you know I get mine. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. Not gon' trip if the sun don't shine. Not gon' trip, you know I get mine. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. I'm talking be my all clean, fit too mean, finger all shiny on my baby's diamond ring. I was on a high till I caught onto the scene. Swear I lost my heart when I fell in love with things. Rookie year went broke like Jalen Rose. Got the price, sold my soul to the things I own. Switched up, locked in and got my mind right. Prioritizing, got my business and my time right. Wristwatch, no TikTok, you know the crown. I get flip stocks, you know it now. My baby's loyal and she holds it down. Play with my fam and I might blame you, but it's going down. Not gon' trip if the sun don't shine. Not gon' trip, you know I get mine. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. Not gon' trip if the sun don't shine. Not gon' trip, you know I get mine. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. Windows tinted, never rented, but I've been accused. Numbers up and we need no recruits. Leather loafers for the tailor suits. Making moves that you could never do. You sure I'm cool, but I'm never amused. When I cop it by the tools. The weather change, I change the views. I drop a record and I watch it boom. You see me working like one on a Zoom. Was that since I left the womb? I'm staying silent when I'm in the room. From the soil, now you see me bloom, zoom, and it's to the moon. Stop making promises you never keep. Out of touch, never out of reach. Dot the I's across the T's. Not gon' trip if the sun don't shine. Not gon' trip, you know I get mine. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. Not gon' trip if the sun don't shine. Not gon' trip, you know I get mine. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. Ay, 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 go crazy. Ay, 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 yeah, go crazy. Got picked twice a day, my type of 2 a days. Woke up with no plans, what I'ma do today. These are not the same, I got no shoes today. My baby missed me, wishing it was 2 of me. And I'm like, if I'm not, then what's the real deal? I've been up and down Pharaoh. Friend, bro, you did a real kill. Off the liquor and some pills. I've been at it since a church. Work. Tell little baby, make it twerk. Twerk. Ay, 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 go crazy, yeah. Ay, go crazy. Bro, pass me the rock. I've been moving out the box. Top speed going top. 101 going pop. Getting hot. In the paint, never flop. At the rim like who? Get the crown like Braun. Yeah. Make it some and I'm spending some. What's the plan? Bet I get it done. It's me, yeah, neighborhood. It's me, yeah, give me some. Wifey icy, yeah, freezer. New friends, I don't need them. Checks coming by the spins. Kids eating off the reruns. If I'm not, then what's the real deal? I've been up and down Pharaoh. Friend, bro, you did a real kill. Off the liquor and some pills. I've been at it since a church. Work. Tell little baby, make it twerk. Twerk. Ay, 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 go crazy, yeah. Ay, go crazy. I hop out the car, leave the motor running. Why you always talking like you know something? Why you always talking, gon' show 'em something? No stunt double, I do my own stunt. Could take a year, I'll still have that paper coming. Put like 10 on the 90, I keep it so on it. All in the club, we don't do no clubbing. Throw like 10 on the 90, I keep it so on it. Orange label, I might pop me too. I was getting money, but they didn't have a clue. Caught the Porsche coming powder blue. Hit the top, we don't need the roof. Fools know we made the rules. I'm with the club, posted by the marina. Eating fruits, looking at views that you never could dream of. Getting served all this paper, I'm not talking subpoena. Gotta flow like a river, but you won't find one that's cleaner. No stunt double, I do my own tricks. I got hits on hits, this like my bat flip. Mind on my money, low where my palm itch. Took the slow lane cruising, now look, we all rich. I hop out the car, leave the motor running. Why you always talking like you know something? Why you always talking, gon' show 'em something? No stunt double, I do my own stunt. Could take a year, I'll still have that paper coming. Put like 10 on the 90, I keep it so on it. All in the club, we don't do no clubbing. so on it. Could never take a handout. New cars, bigger house, everything was planned out. 2020 hindsight, noticing how I panned out. Never did too much, never wanted to stand out. Spent plenty in my 20s, no place empty. God sent me, keep it thorough, this not trendy. Don't tempt me, on the edge and I'm sick. See them stealing my moves, hear them jacking my lyrics. But Chris can never dance like Mike, and Floyd can never hit like Tyson. I am who I am, never tripping, I just stick to the plan. And if I trip, it's to a beach, I put my toes in the sand. Silly. I just wanna lie. Not a little bit, nah. Who did it? It's me. I just wanna lie. Lie. I just wanna lie. I just wanna lie. Lie. I just wanna lie. I just wanna lie. Wobble up the spot, no dance, not drunk, cause money in my pants. I just wanna lie. Sip a drink and it got me in a trance. Take the money, baby, I don't wanna dance. I just wanna lie. Got a salary up in my cargo. Push one button, make the car go. Bet I've been the man since top speed. Best kept secret, but it's time I need a spot. I just wanna lie. 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 I just wanna lie, not a little bit. I don't need a pint, just a little sip. Been up in the mood and it's active. Up with the moon, I'm relaxing. I like nice things, pricey. Whole lot of carrots, my type thing. Whole lot of characters like me. If you only tell me yes, you can be around me. Free from around me, you can be around me. With some B's and some C's, yeah, they be around me. Be around me. Don't you see?
Welcome everybody to the Amazon University Esports Masters. We are here in the playoffs for League of Legends. 8 teams will be facing off against each other on the Rift for a spot in the playoffs in a journey that started many months ago. For some of them, this is their last chance to push themselves towards glory. My name is Middlecourt. Joining me for these games is going to be Black Boxer. We have got one hell of a competition on our hands today.
Oh, we absolutely do. What a brilliant tournament this is. Teams from across Europe, from UK to Ukraine, competing against each other in order to take the title, glory, and a ton of cash prizes too. What a brilliant tournament, and some excellent teams that we're going to be following today.
Absolutely, absolutely. And maybe we can tantalize you with a few of the teams that we're going to be seeing. We are looking at teams that are bona fide Prime League Div 2, Second Division ERLs. University competition may involve auto-filled Bronze 3 mid laners playing support at times, but we have also got some very, very high-quality League of Legends in store for you today.
Absolutely. That is the thing with university esports, as some of it, for a lot of universities, is just who turns up. Who do you have on your roster? Is it a bunch of challengers? Is it a bunch of bronzies? You don't know. However, some of these universities, that is absolutely not the case. One of the teams we have today in our first matchup, the German squad, this is a team that is actually curated. They're on a scholarship program. They all live together. This is a team that properly is being funded by their university, and as such, they've made it to this high level of competition.
You can see there, Dr. Boomen Academy looking very, very strong. And the other team from Germany, AIX, were also doing great for themselves. Then you've got the former champions in esports, Team 20. We've got Polytechnica Gdansk from Poland, as well as the AGH Aggressors. Love that team name. Esports, Stuba coming out from Slovakia, and Yenil Misler and UDL from the last chance qualifier rounding out our top 8. Bloxer, we've got some strong squads here. Who do you want to touch on first?
Well, I mean, we have to talk quickly about Esports Team 20. They won it last year. They're an incredibly well-rounded team. This Netherlands squad, they are so strong. There's not a single point on that team where you look at it and go, maybe this isn't going to work out so well. No. Every single person on that team, from Kabush in the jungle to QTKT down in the support role, is brilliant. And if you can get a couple of games to watch this squad, really try to pick up on the way that they play around each other, because their map rotations, the way that they play is just so clean.
Yeah, and make sure that if you want to follow along with all the action, not only do you tune in here, but make sure to follow University Esports Masters on Twitter. They're going to be posting a lot of gameplay clips and updates on the games too. But Bloxer, I feel like we maybe want to slow down a little bit. I feel like we've maybe rushed a little bit ahead of ourselves. How do we come to this position? How did these teams actually run through this gauntlet? So I wonder if we could bring up the calendar very, very briefly. And you could see there that this started a long time ago for some of these teams.
It really did. The qualifier bracket being in March isn't even the beginning. You get here by winning out in your individual countries. Some places, like the UK, Germany, send 2 squads. Some of the smaller regions only send 1. You win your individual tournament, then you make it to the qualifier bracket. Then we had the last chance qualifier a couple of weeks ago, where the teams that then won out later on in their individual regions got to play in again. That was the French squad and the Turkish squad that have managed to make it through there. And we are still waiting. The grand finals won't be until the 8th of July. This is a long road for all of these teams. You've got to show proficiency across a lot of patches if you're playing in League, and just across a long period of time for all of these games.
I'm going to be the whole of June. I'm just going to be itching for those live finals. But it's not just League of Legends. Obviously, we had a few other logos going on there as well. TFT, Clash Royale, Valorant, all that good stuff. So whatever your esport, you can follow it here on University Esports Masters. It doesn't not necessarily have to be League of Legends. But for a little bit of a breakdown on how the format is going to work and how all the teams are going to be matching up against each other and how the whole thing is going to play out, team behind the scenes have put together a little video to explain how that's going to work.
The most prestigious university esports competition in the world has arrived. Over the coming months, Amazon University Esports Masters will provide opportunities for the best university players across Europe to test their skills in international competition and make lasting connections with other players across the region. In 2023, 17 countries in Europe will participate in a UEM, plus the Middle East and North Africa, which will also be included in the playoff phase. In this video, we will introduce the format of the competition. There are 2 types of games that will be run in a UEM. Team games, like League of Legends, Rocket League and Valorant, and single-player games, like Teamfight Tactics and Clash Royale. For team games, a UEM is divided into 5 phases: local qualifiers, playoff qualifiers, the last chance qualifier, playoffs, and the grand final. Single-player games are similar, but they will bypass the playoff qualifier and last chance qualifier phases. All players who have qualified from their local qualifier will go directly to the playoffs phase. Local qualifiers are the core of a UEM. Throughout the academic year, local qualifiers are organised in each country to decide which teams will represent that country in a UEM. The qualifying teams from the local qualifiers will compete against other teams from around Europe in the playoff qualifier. This is a double elimination bracket, with the final 6 teams progressing to the playoffs. For teams who don't qualify for the playoffs at the first try, all is not lost. The last chance qualifier itself is a double elimination bracket. This means that teams who lose a game will still have a chance to qualify for the playoffs through a lower bracket. The final 2 teams from this phase will take the remaining 2 slots in the playoffs. The 6 qualifiers from the playoff qualifier will be joined by the 2 qualifiers from the last chance qualifier to make up the final 8 competitors in the playoffs. There are no second chances. These playoffs are a single elimination bracket and the competitors are playing for a place in the grand finals. The location, along with even more exciting news about AUEM 2023, will be revealed soon. To be the first to hear announcements and learn more about Amazon University Esports Masters, follow our Twitter and check out our website.
There was a line in that Bloxer that I really, really enjoyed listening to. No second chances. The playoffs, we're into single elimination territory. Yeah. You don't have a lower bracket. You don't have a last chance qualifier that you can come through to make it further in the competition. It really is do or die now. Every game is going to matter so much more.
Oh yeah, absolutely. For teams such as UNIVERSITY, one of the squads we're going to be watching first of all, lower bracket gods that they are, this is a pretty scary position to be in. You have got to make it happen right now. Top 3 places have got a lot of money on the line out of that prize pool, and so you have got to be getting there. This first round, you have no prizes to actually be playing for. You're looking to get towards first, second, or third. As you can see, 4,000 euros for first place.
Oh, and that means that all of your assignments, double-sided color printing. Imagine that is a luxury. It's barely comprehensible, really. And I imagine you might want to spend that money on like maybe some other stuff as well. Next
Something
event,
other
battle
than
pass
pot
or
noodle?
something. I don't know. Pot noodle goes pretty hard. It's all about ramen nowadays.
That's
I feel
true.
like pot noodle as a cultural phenomenon, at least in the UK, really isn't a thing anymore. I don't feel like, and I don't feel like it's a thing in the rest of Europe. I feel like ramen has really sort of taken that place. Instant noodles, still goated though.
Absolutely, you know, I don't think even with €4,000 worth of prize money that the players are going to come away from the instant ramen, but, you know, you get to spend that how you like.
You spend it on more important things, you know. But let's look at how teams are going to be facing off today, as I believe we're going to be able to bring the bracket up. We are going to be following the third match from the top on your screens. That's Boomen from, well, Dr. Boomen Academy from Germany and Jano Mesler from Turkey. But we also got some pretty hype matchups going on. Germany versus France is always about a banger. We've got that Polish derby between AGH and PG and Estuba and ETT in that other matchup. So really, lots of good League of Legends, and I'm just disappointed that I can't cast it all.
Yeah, exactly. I wish that we could follow each and every single one of these. They're all going to be incredibly hype. The match we're following right now, I'm so excited for it. Dr. Boomen Academy coming through as the undefeated team, really, during that play-ins qualification. 2 quick, clean games, 2-0s for both of them. Feeling very good about themselves. Yenomizla, a ridiculous team who's made a great run through the lower bracket, who took out Kit Esports White, who were the previous champions 2 years running. And so both of these teams absolutely brilliant on very different paths to this point, but once you're here, does the past matter? It's all about what you can put on today.
I mean, it really is, and I'm going to just straight up put you on the spot, Block. So before we even get into any of the real analysis of these teams, who's your favourite going in?
Favourite to win the whole thing?
Yeah, let's go favourite to win the whole thing.
I absolutely love AIX. They are my favourite team in this entire bracket. I was rooting for them last year, just secretly on the down low. I still think they're very fun to watch. However, unfortunately, Esports Team 20, they are so strong. They won it last year for a reason. They had a very clean run of it the whole way through the tournament. They've done the same this time around, and I don't see them faltering yet.
That's a safe bet. That's a safe bet.
Very safe bet.
Maybe not necessarily. I still feel like AX can do stuff. They are going to be without Relative, their main mid laner today, which is obviously going to be hampering them a fair bit. But I'm kind of looking at UDL as well.
Yeah?
Kasimi in the bot lane, that guy does some very, very, very illegal things, and they keep working for them. And I think as a team, their story is possibly one of the most captivating that we've got for today.
Absolutely. I mean, if you watch the Last Chance qualifiers, you will know their story, but we can fill you in right now. They made an absolutely ridiculous lower bracket run. We talk about Yenomizla as lower bracket gods because they waltzed their way through, whereas UDL got knocked down pretty early on and ended up playing, it was a ridiculous amount of games, I think 7 games during their entire day, and they looked just as fresh at the end as they did at the beginning. Really managed to keep it on, and the style that they developed for themselves, it didn't go great in the early game, but come 20 minutes, one team fight, and straight away, absolutely fine.
It was funny. I was looking on Leaguepedia at the scoreboards for the games, just as a little bit to refresh my memory. And I'm looking at these games, and I'm like, 8k gold lead, games ending at 24 minutes. That does not tell the story of this game at all. You know that gold lead was completely flipped around just 10 minutes before. But let's zoom back in on the matchup that we are going to have in hand for our first game. You touched a little bit on Yenomizla having a decent time in that lower bracket, in that last chance qualifier. What do you think it was about this team which was able to propel them towards the playoffs here?
the way that they managed to play around everybody in their team composition, from Aloha in the top lane with a brilliant Gwen performance to P-God down in that bot lane, just running through people on Xayah. The way that this team plays, if you've not seen them before, is just imagine like a rabid dog sprinting at something with no breaks. 0 breaks on this team. They are laser focused on getting kills early and just running directly through you. They will not stop. And it's a style that sometimes, versus worse teams, just blast them out of the water. The game will end in 14, 15 minutes. You know, a surrender vote wouldn't have even made it quicker. However, versus better teams who are able to out-hands check them and out-macro them, it can run into a little bit of a problem. That's the reason that they've had to come through the last chance qualifier. They got taken out by PG. You know, they didn't have the best time of it during that play-in stage. But they're back once again, and they are such a dark horse team. That is really the way that they like to play. It's the way they like to see themselves as well. Whenever we've spoken to these players, they know that they play a ridiculous style, and they love it. We love watching it, and so I'm really interested to see how it works out this time around versus what is very clean and calm Dr. Boomman Academy.
I think that's the real thing that we could take away, because whilst both squads have been together for a relatively decent amount of time, this Dr. Boomman Academy squad has a track record, right? They've got success within the Prime League, within the main League of Legends ecosystem within Germany, where the team is from. And that can count for a lot, because you're not going up against players in those sorts of divisions that are turning up to their university games on about 3 hours sleep of that, right? You've got people taking that competition seriously. And to be able to sort of play in that environment is a testament to the level that this team has.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We highlighted it a little bit earlier on, but this team plays on scholarship. They all live together. They play in a studio with each other in order to play their games. This is a proper squad. This is not, like you said, a couple of university students who are like, hey, we'll just compete. Why not? It's for a bit of fun. While I'm sure they enjoy the game and have a lot of fun competing at this level, this is not a for fun squad. The level of competition they compete against as well in the Prime League is really going to be good. Iron sharpens iron. Playing against better competition than you will make you stronger, and that means that you're playing against a very clean, calm, collected team as Yenomizla. These are two styles that could not be any more different.
Yeah, no, and I think to even further emphasize that, on this Dr. Boomer squad, you've got Nice Guy Ben. And if you've been around the Prime League for a little bit of a while, that's a name that you recognise. He's coached right in the sort of top divisions of the Prime League and is now coaching on this squad. And that level of experience, again, it makes you more prepared for these teams like Yenomizla that want to throw everything at you from the get-go.
Really does. You're going to have squads like that in Division 2. Division 2 of all of these ERLs is a little bit of a wild place. You've got some teams who really are, put together enough that they could go up to the first divisions, and other teams who are just filling out the league. And so you get to play against a lot of different squads. Oftentimes you will find a squad like Yenomizla who doesn't really know how to stop and slow themselves down. That's more of an accidental style than Yenomizla's. Yenomizla is a very deliberate squad with the way that they play. They know the way that they like to play it, but everything that we're talking about right now is complicated by the fact that we've just had the mid-season patch, which has changed up everything.
I mean, you were talking about P-God being a key carry for Yenomizla. His role is going to have to change a fair bit because he's been playing a lot of the Xayah, and I'm not going to lie, I've looked at a couple of tier lists post the item rework, not too many, I'm going to hold my hands up right now. But Xayah didn't appear particularly high on a lot of those tier lists. Well, what's your kind of take on any carry meta right now? What sort of picks do you reckon that we're going to be seeing come to the fore today?
It is completely wild. There are a million different things. I think Varus is going to be popping up quite a lot simply because he has 3 different builds that are all completely fine to play. He can play the on-hit attack speed, he can play with crit, he can play with lethality, he can even build a little bit more AP. Everything he can do is just fine, and it gives you a great amount of flexibility. There's some really fun pickups with the Twitch and the Kog'Maw, which are very specialist. You have got to build your composition around something like that. You've got the Protect the Poppy compositions of the past, although I don't think it will be 4 enchanters and a Kog'Maw. You can play something relatively similar to that, to be fair. And then it's just whatever can build Stormrazor, whether it be something like the Tristana, the Jinx, all of those things, more than willing to just build that Storm Razor, which is completely busted at the moment, and then sitting on the edges is the Ezreal. So you've got a wide open champion pool. It is no longer the days of Aphelios and Jinx just sat in the bot lane, farming up and running through a team fight.
Why have you said... Why? You've just made a declarative statement there. About this, you've said that it's not going to be Aphelios Jinx, which means that it's inevitably going to be Aphelios Jinx. Thank you very much, Max. Appreciate that. Just a little update for you guys on why we're taking a little bit longer to get into game. Apparently, one of the players' game has crashed, so hopefully they're going to get that booted up nice and quickly, going to get that restarted, and we're going to be able to jump into Champion Select as soon as possible. But Bloxer, I've asked you on teams that you reckon are going to be making it to the playoffs today. In this game, do you think that the chaotic style of Yana Misler is going to be able to take down Dr. Boomin, or do you reckon they're just that little bit too coordinated, a little bit too together as a squad?
I wondered the exact same thing during our last chance qualifier between Yeno Misler and Kit SC White. Kit SC White, one of the best teams, very clean, calm and collected, and they got ran through by Yeno Misler very quickly. However, Kit SC aren't even in this playoff, so clearly these teams are a step above. I don't think it's going to be a 2-0 either way, and I would come down tentatively, very tentatively, on the side of Germany. I think Dr. Women are going to be able to keep it clean. I see one very clean game out of them that is just nice, calm and collected. Another game where Yenomism turns it into a complete slugfest and they lose, and another semi-slugfest that ends up going in the favour of Germany.
Yeah. I kind of want to agree with you. This very much feels like a head and heart moment for me here, because Yenomism are a bunch of fun to watch. But also, Dr. Boomin Academy, we've not seen as much of these guys, to be perfectly honest.
They just waltzed their way through.
They won too quickly. This is the issue. Like, you played 4 games on a day back in March, and now you're here in these playoffs, and whilst you've had less opportunities to get knocked out, YNZ have played together a lot more throughout this competition, and there's something about stage games. There's something about being in that hyper-competitive environment that you can't really replicate in scrims. So I feel like I've had a conversation between two very important organs in my body, my brain and my heart, and my heart has won out, if I'm going to be honest, Block. So I think that YNZ are taking it.
Oh, see, I'd have to agree with you on it being head and heart, because the logical explanation is that the team that waltzed their way through the play-ins just is going to be all good. The last chance qualifier team that had to scrap their way through a lower bracket, that can't be the team that wins. But everything that you think is going to be nice and simple and easy just goes out the window whenever Yenomisa are playing. I mean, they're so much fun to watch. We'll have to see how they pull it out in this series.
As we are jumping into Champion Select for the first time of potentially 9 times today, Blocks. So I'm going to try and rest my voice for this cast so we can make it all the way through. Bans coming out. That's Skarner ban. That is a tech against Teko Teko. This guy had some random 7-1-3 Skarner performance in the qualification tournament, completely carried his team through. He's also shown a lot of strength on that champion a bit more generally, so that's why that's there. And then these bans coming through from Dr. Mabubin Academy, the Zoe, Fresh Killer's main, and then Peergod also sick on the Draven. So big focus on individual picks from both of these teams so far.
Absolutely, it's only now that we're beginning to see a couple of more general bans on always good in the meta. Varus, as we mentioned, can be pretty good all over. Maokai especially, that's something that can be played by most of the players on the map at this point, a support, a jungler, a top laner, wherever you really need it. So this first pick coming out of Yenomisa, Xayah, it has been floating around the edges of the meta after this change. It can still be good, can still build the Storm Razor, and that's a brilliant item, but it is not one of those premier carries. I wonder if the Rakan is still what's pushing this up.
Potentially, and I mean that would sort of fit with Peergod and Burkus, how we've seen them as a duo. Peergod loves playing the Xayah because that additional safety you can get on the champion, and Burkus loves going completely berserk on the map, ganking everybody, setting up these team fights. So I think the Rakan would be a smart pick alongside that. Doesn't give over too much information either, picking your AD carry this early, and We said it wasn't going to be a Felios jinx, Bloxel. I'm seeing a jinx there. I'm just glad that YNZ didn't lock in a Felios.
It is that second tier, though, of matchup that we have been expecting between the Xayah and the Jinx. They're still brilliant carries. It's nothing against either of them. It's just we'd like something a little bit different. Gragaslow, great flex pick, has been mainly in the jungle, expecting that to be for Teko, but you know, can move it around just a little bit. So, do we get the Rakan here? Xayah Rakan is still one of those premier pickups down in the bot lane. Nautilus, he's been strong throughout. You have to be a little bit worried picking that into a Jinx. Vi makes a lot of sense, gives you backline access onto what is an immobile carry.
Information about the Gragas as well. I think Goose and Nice Guy Ben have played it. I know Goose definitely has this tournament, so really just indexing even further into that flex. Not only does it exist as a strong pick in the jungle, but your mid laner has also actually played the champion. So maybe messing with the minds of YNZ a little bit here. I think that Vi is really fitting into the style of that identity that you're touching on, and then the Rakan as well that you were touching on. YNZ, this feels very quintessentially this team.
Yeah. You're going to be able to get yourself some early aggression out of that Xayah Rakan. Vi wants to gank as early as possible and as much as possible. Once you hit that level 6, you're pretty much guaranteed in getting yourself a kill. A well-rounded comp, you're just going to need a couple tanks to round that one out. For Dr. Boomin Academy, though, you could still pick up yourself a support. Gonna grab the Poppy instead. That's still a flex pick. We don't know where all of these champions are going to go yet.
Yeah, but it's also an excellent pick into what Yeno Mesler have drafted. Dr. Boomin Academy here. They've got a Jinx, great, long-range DPS, and 2 excellent peel champions in the Gragas and the Poppy.
Yeah, and hey, you want to dash around as a Vi, as a Rakan? How about no? Just simply not allowed to. Come these team fights, it's going to make navigating them a lot more difficult for Yeno Mesler, and you're also drafting yourself enough backline late game scaling to be able to sit back and try to weather the storm of Yeno Mesler. If Yeno Mesler haven't beaten you in the first 15 minutes, they are unlikely to be able to do so because of the way that they play. Looks like a blank ban out of Boomin. Not sure what's up with that one. Fiora going to be taken out though. Clearly not entirely sure where that Poppy's going to go, not expecting it to be in the top lane.
Yeah, or maybe acknowledging that there is still that flexibility here. And this is an interesting style that YNZ have opted for in their second phase of bans, because you see a Jinx on the enemy team, you just think, okay, right, I need to ban out these enchanters, take away stuff like the Lulu, like the Melio off the board, but YNZ, they seem a bit more interested in indexing into a strong matchup for Elohar in the top lane, and I think based on what we've seen from them, I can understand the reasoning, right?
Most certainly, having a strong carry on Aloha can be everything. There are a lot of carries actually in the top lane that are really good at the moment. The Gwen was already good on the previous patch. We saw how good Aloha could be on it, and it's even stronger now with some new itemization. The Jack's also really strong at the moment, and so focusing up towards the top lane makes a lot of sense. It also makes a lot of sense because down in the support role, anything that can build Helios is probably fine. The Janna, the Sona, the Seraphine, all of those are just a-okay to be picked up, and so trying to ban out that champion pool is very tricky.
It's difficult. I've got fun fact about Echoes of Helia. Best Ornn item upgrade name in the game. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it at that. If it comes up in the game, I'll say the name. If you want to go off and Google it, that's your prerogative. Okay, but I'm just letting you know. Just pre-informing you that when you receive that information, you're going to be very, very happy with it. Enchanter locked in here for Dr. Boomin Academy. Karma not really a traditional enchanter in the same way that you've got like a Lulu or a Sona. Much more poke focused, but obviously with that shield and with the mantra able to speed up our entire team, still fulfills the role very well.
And interestingly, not one of the Helios builders actually prefers to go for a slightly different build, more with the Shirelias for that extra speed up. Gonna see that Xerath right here. That is a ton of damage that can come out of Fresh Killer. We know how good he is at landing those skill shots, with the Zoe being that main pickup for him, and so that's going to be a terrifying proposition. And with the Malphite, oh yeah, no, I love you guys. This composition wants to go in. They do not care about doing anything else other than just going directly in and blowing up everybody in their path.
Yeah, and the best thing is you can't stop the rock, okay?
Nope.
Poppy's going to throw out that steadfast presence.
Doesn't matter.
The Gragas is going to try and belly... Doesn't matter.
Nope.
Doesn't matter. Malphite is inevitable. Silence would be a good pick here, though, and with the strong engage ultimates that YNZ have got for themselves, Dr. Boomin will say thank you very much, we'll have one of those.
Absolutely. You can imagine just how much damage something like that Xerath ultimate is going to do when you're full AP. The same with the Malphite ultimate. You know, that's always the funny thing with the Silas. You pick him up, he steals your ultimate, does more damage than you were ever going to do with it, and just waltzes off into the distance. Brilliant pickup, and you can see Goose is going to end up with that Gragas. Okay, Silas up into the top lane. He has a decent matchup into the Malphite. I do worry a little bit about the Gragas versus a Xerath. That's quite a lot of poke into a range versus melee matchup, but at the same time, it should be okay, simply because Goose knows his champion incredibly well.
Yeah, a lot of Gragas games for this guy as well. But you look at Teko alongside him. I'm going to call him Teko at one point, I swear. But you look at the Poppy here as well, and her damage gets kind of underestimated a lot of the time, especially in the very, very early game. So we could potentially see some kill threat from this duo onto Fresh Killer, and once you put a Xerath behind, it's very difficult for that champion to become relevant again.
It really is. The worry is if he gets ahead, you cannot step anywhere on the map with that living artillery. Sorry, with that ultimate. He's just going to be raining down hurt onto you. I think a lot of this is going to be on these junglers. Teko on that Poppy. Can you find those early ganks? Poppy's pretty good for that, but are you going to be as effective as a Vi? I mean, Husky Rider is a brilliant jungler at just getting into lanes, going as aggressive as possible, and giving them a Vi as the pick. That's such a strong ganking jungler. Everybody needs to be worried, because if the Vi gets 1-2 items, it can really run through a game.
Yeah, and I'm somewhat nervous for YNZ, actually, because they have so clearly indexed into their own style, and usually that'll make you feel good about a team, but when a team is as volatile as Yen and Mesler are, going too far in terms of these engaged comps wanting to fight all the time, you can get punished. And